There's a gray. First set. Boy, that's a dandy. Look at him. This is the first set we checked today. We had a nice gray fox, nice male. And you can see here how this is set up. This is a support wire to hold the cable restraint up. And it was barricaded on both sides with weeds and things. The cables I use about 4 feet long, and they'll have an 8-foot diameter circle. And you can't have anything that they can get entangled in. And this one just worked perfectly. Again, the support wire, cable restraint held in the ground by a wolf fang anchor, and they really work well. Again, as we go along here, we'll show you some of the other sets and how really it looks just like a little path. You never notice, you never think that looking at this. But we had him narrowed down. He finally come through here, and we got him. Nice big male gray. You got to be right on location, right on the path. Whereas a trap, you have your lure and stuff, and that'll bring him into an area. But I really like doing this. You woodsmen like, you know, you find where they're traveling, find the paths. I set a lot of mine on deer paths, and they seem to work well. And we'll show you some of these as we go around. I know we don't have a couple up in these cables, but I have a couple cables out at the end of the field, and we'll see if we have any more out there. Here's another one of my sets. Cable restraint, that's probably about 7.5 inches off from the first solid surface. And this was just a path here. You can see all the brush and stuff. That's exactly the way this other set was made. With all this brush and stuff around it, there's nothing here they can get tangled up in. And the wind's been pretty strong today. Been up like 25 miles an hour. And it's blowing these weeds a little bit. When I make this, these weeds are up like this. And these weeds over here. And I always try to keep a few weeds right around the cable so they don't notice it as much. But these are so much fun to set. It's just unbelievable. And you can set a pile of them in a day. Another one of my cable sets. How it's blended in. Put these weeds on the side. Really, they come up through here, right through there. And all these were cut and stuck in. If you catch one here, there's nothing they're going to get tangled up in. They'll just have like that 4-foot circle. They can go either way here. And this is like a strip down through the field. And those fox like to cut through these little patches here. There's some mice and stuff in this field, and I'm sure they're in here. And they'll go through this and hunt. They see this path, they'll go right down through here. And again, I use all my cables are about 7 inches off the ground, 7-8 inches wide. Just perfect for fox. Now, if you're really after coyote, you're going to have to make those loops a little bigger. You're not going to catch them in them. I guess when I scouted this, I already had them in some of the spots that I thought was better, but you can see this one. There's some fox tracks in here. Now there's a couple deer come in, but there's fox using this one too. So this is pretty natural right here. We'll put it right here, and they're already used to going under those weeds. And there's nothing here over ½ an inch thick that's going to get them entangled. And a couple of these bigger ones I may take out, but there's nothing here that would not be permissible. So we'll show you how we get her in here and explain it as we go. First thing I have to do, get off my wire from that holds it up. Sometimes it's hard to judge the length of these. You cut that off. Yeah, there's a couple use this one. We just keep jumping around and see what we can do. I think that's 11 gauge, and that's pretty sturdy as a support. We use this for the support. See how sturdy that is now? Man, that went down in there easy. Now, here's the cable restraint. And for stakes, I use those Berkshire stakes. Just put it through the swivel down at the bottom. Pound that right down in. Before I do it, I pull that cable out as far as I can pull it, because you don't really need all that. That lays out of the way. I tighten that up and pound that right down in. Another thing, they have to be tagged just like any other trap. And there you can see my copper tag on it with my name and address. No way are they going to pull them out. Hard part's done. I think I'm going to need a little longer piece of wire though. I'll pull this cable through to what I don't need. Here's the piece that holds the cable up. Little piece of rubber that you put the wire under, and I like these. I mean, you can push them in there and they're tight. They make some of these with little wires on them. I don't like them because they don't work very good. You can push that right in there, and that's not going to do a thing. Now I'm going to move it a little closer, but basically that's it. And you want the support up here as close as you can get it, so it is a good support, not way back there. Now believe me, I'm no authority on cable restraints, but basically that's it. And I always check it. This is the lock. I always check it to make sure there's nothing loose there that's going to keep it from going down. And these work all kinds of weather. It can rain, it can snow, ice. And if you get a big ice storm, you may have to clean them off a little bit. But basically, that's it. And for fox, they recommend about 6 inches from the first hard surface underneath it. 6 inches up and 6 inches around. Caught one a couple nights ago down here in this set. We got a gray one, and we showed you this set before this fox was in it, and you can see how I have it made so he can't get entangled in anything. And these wolf fang anchors really hold them. This one's caught perfectly right around the neck. Nice red fox. It snowed a little bit last night, and they must have really been running around looking for something to eat, because they can probably sense we have this big snow coming up. As you can see, the edge of the woods is right here. All this light stuff that didn't need really to be cut down, and you can see the circle that he made going into this trail. So they were in here hunting, and the fellow that owns this has a place here where he burns some garbage and stuff, and they come in looking for this food. And I thought this would be a good set because it's close to that, and there's a trail right here. You can see the weeds and everything. The catch circle, all this was grown up just like these weeds here. And after he got caught, he knocked them all down. We have another set right here. That one's not. We got another one right around the corner. There's nothing in that one. That cable's still set. We got another nice redwood right here. He's not tangled up. That's the way to set him. We cut that one back a little far, but that happens once in a while. You can see here the catch circle, and I had it right down to about where it had to be. Because if he'd have got over here, he'd have got tangled up. But I was cutting that close. That's real close there. Another nice red fox. There you can see the catch circle. He's been in there quite a while. Those cables hold them. Now, ideally, you want to get them right around the neck, but that loop might have been a little bigger. He got in a little differently. That one slid back a little ways. But there's another nice red fox. I really love using these cable restraints. I mean, I like to set steel traps, but you got to boil them and take care of them and handle them with care. A lot more weight, a lot more work. These cables, when I first started, you guys said, well, you spray them a little bit, which is fine. But when I sprayed them, they just didn't fire as quick as I'd like them to. And I'm using them right out of I boil them, get the grease or anything that's on them off of them. But I don't spray them with anything. I just hide them in the weeds and stuff, and they seem to work perfectly. Have very few turnaways. I had one this year, but not very many. You can see the cable restraint did its job again with a wolf fang anchor, and they anchor them right down. There's no way they're going to pull them out, especially when they're stretched out in these circular ways. And you have to have a license to trap with these cable restraints. You have to take a course. I took the course in 2007. I never really set these till like about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's really that's loaded. Loaded means as soon as they bump that's going to go off. If you get this too far over this way, it just won't fire. I can show you. So you got to have these set. I always try them 2 or 3 times. And you saw how hard I pulled on that last one. Now we'll do it after I have it set where it should be. Right down it goes. Now I always check them when I set them, because you get that up there just a shade too far and they won't fire right. And your support wire has to be pretty firm. I usually use 11 gauge from F&T fur harvesters. You put that in the ground and you can bend that to fit pretty much what you want. And I like the, instead of the wire stops, I like the cable where the wire hooks into the cable instead of the wires. The cable just, I think, holds it better. You can adjust that to the height of it. And when I put the wire in, I always use a couple of local pieces of stick or something to put down in that same hole I have the wire in, so that don't give very much. It has a lot of play in it. They could knock it off before it goes off. You can see here I have those sticks right down in where my 11 gauge wire went. Well, this is a farm that I've trapped for probably, I don't know, 7, 8 years by now, and come up here and trap beaver and fox using the leg hold. I never thought of putting cables in this menagerie. Perfect spot. I put the cables in here. I put them on deer trails. You can see here's where we caught one a week ago. You can see the catch circle. Again, didn't get tangled up on anything. Then I just moved the set back a little bit. And you can see how I have it brushed in. But this is just a perfect spot for those fox to run through, following those deer trails and looking for mice and stuff. Let's go. We'll start through here now and see if we got anything. You can see we knew we didn't have one here, but look how that's brushed in. Just perfect. Brushed right in, right through there. Good spot.
You got one over there.
Yeah, we did get one. There's another one. That's 3 today. Another nice red one. Boy, he has a circle. That boy was digging. We got him back a little ways too. They can stretch out when you get them in the back like that. But you can see again, the catch circle, nothing for him to get tangled up in. perfect set. And that trail come right through here and went up in that way. And he was running that deer trail when he got caught. Well, you can see we had like 10 or 11 cables out, and we caught 3. That's a pretty good day. Again, as stated, it's a lot of fun just getting in the outdoors, trying to outfox the fox, and they're really easy to set, a lot easier than using the steel traps. So if you're looking for something to do in the winter time, after Christmas was when the cable restraint, you can set them, December 26th in the first week or so of February. You can have a lot of fun, give you something to do during the day.
North American Trapper Predation Packages. Get any one of our specific trapping packages that has been ultimately designed to help you become the master predation controller of your farm, ranch, or hunting lease. Control the predators that are costing you time and money, and get out there trapping today with one of our North American Trapper Predation boxes. All of the packages come with the trapping essentials to get you out in the field, plus an instructional DVD that will show you the way. Visit us at NorthAmericanTrapper.com and start breaking dirt today.